Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Here's the offense, certainly some threats on this offense, and one of them that they target is Doug Baldwin.
Not only does he do a nice job catching the ball downfield, he's also a tremendous blocker that helps unleash the running game.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Here's Rashad Penny, first carry for the former San Diego State Aztec. And shutting him off, now open field. A big seam, and he might go all the way. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Rashad Penny, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. And personally, what a start for him to get in the end zone from that distance here on the first drive.
And it has the defense tearing up their defensive goals for the game, doesn't it? Because nowadays, when we talk to all the coaches, they don't talk about limiting yards per carry and those things. They just talk about limiting explosive plays, whether it's through the air or on the ground. And anything an explosive play on the ground, usually, 10 to 12-yard runs? This one was way more than that. They've got to go back to the drawing board and try and shut it down.
So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he powers his way up past the 30.
Come on, let's go.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now Wilson on 2nd down. Rolling to his right. Got him in. It's Brown. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And now this offensive unit, we get a look at their starters. They put up good numbers last week, looking to carry that forward.
Yeah, Brandon, they saw the numbers from last week. They expect to at least replicate them. They think that they can put up bigger numbers this week. They are a confident bunch.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now it's Wilson. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but it must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
And out now come the Seahawks. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in this 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
The completion.
This offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive. They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Drake. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to rumble.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, a 22. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch, too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
95.
From the gun, it's Wilson. He goes underneath the Drake. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now Russell Wilson appears to be shaken up. And you know they're holding their breath over on that sideline. He's still down. Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not.
And he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle.
Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Oh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Here's a give to Penny. And an alley to run. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. 20. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Rashad Penny with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
So now here come the Dolphins. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Antonio Brown, 78 yards. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points. As a former it's blocked. And the Seahawks have it. But he doesn't get far. They're able to stop him. And after all that, the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
Well, there's a blocked extra point. I remember playing, and we had one of those go against us. I remember our kicker and our holder told the head coach, just relax, coach. Why are you yelling? Don't worry, it's just 1 point. Oh, my. Those coaches see a point is gold to them because you never know how it's going to turn out later.
Exactly. That's why I was just going to say first quarter. We'll see if this has any implications as the game goes.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Dumps that off to Penny as running back. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll make it second down.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
They'll drop to throw. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player as well as a physical specimen.
Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90.
He'll drop to throw. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. And he gets it down to the 32. Baldwin's first catch going to be good enough for a first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green.
Penny, a first down carry. And some room to work. Touchdown, Seattle. Rashad Penny his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it. Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Here's the former Heisman winner. It's Derrick Henry. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Tackle made there by Frank Clark. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Throwing is Wilson. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there for the Dolphins. 47 yards. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Again to Henry. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Wilson. Flush to his right. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Now Wilson on 1st down. Flushed out right. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And I think the offense got it back. Yes, they did. At the 2-yard line is where they'll have it.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear him now. 3rd and goal. Now Wilson and this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. He's at the 50, 30, the 20, 10, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
This is Carson. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
That 1st down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
good for 16, and the drive will continue.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Now let's go. Blue landed.
They'll look to throw here. Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. Tyler Lockett now with a return. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And it's actually been out of the backfield, handing the ball off where they've had a lot of success. So if you're the quarterback, do you just maybe say, you know, maybe this isn't my day, our running game's going so well, you just continue to lean on that?
I agree. That's exactly what you do. And you have to kind of take your ego and put it aside because you always think your next throw is going to be your best throw, right? Your next play is going to be your best play. Lean on what's working for you right now. That should help carry your team to victory if things keep going in the direction that they are.
Yeah, because the formula has them the lead currently. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Out of the gun now on third down. That's caught by Penny. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Here we go.
They'll look to throw. It's complete to Lockett. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Past the 20, and he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Everybody likes to see the long ball thrown, but when you throw it underneath and you see someone catch the ball, secure it, make their moves, and then turn it into bigger plays, that's a lot of fun to watch as well.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. On first down, Wilson. Leading the pressure right. He's going deep for Brown. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Right there in coverage, the veteran Cam Chancellor. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
Play action. Now Wilson. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Set. Green 39.
Looking to throw. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Lockett with a grab over the middle. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The result, a first down as a quick slant gets him 14.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
They're going to look to throw. He finds Aguilar over the middle. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Back to throw again. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
He'll look to throw. And he finds Penny. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. They come out here in the eye.
Green 39. Green 30.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he stays up. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Grady Jarrett in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place, as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. They'll set up a throw. This is caught. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Nick Boyle, as the first half is winding down. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. 13 seconds, the time remaining in the half as they come up on first down. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Staying on his feet, escaping the pressure right. Flush to his right. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. He's going to float this one deep right side. It's caught inside the 25. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And here on the road, that could be a huge score for their morale in the second half.
Every team has confidence going into the start of games, but sometimes you get it rocked a little bit, and this certainly applies here for them. But guess what? Just what you said, this touchdown can give them their belief back that they can win in the second half.
And now they'll elect to go for two and try to cut into this lead a little further before they head to the locker room. They're going to try and run. But he will not get the 2 points. He stopped up short, and that is how this first half. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. It'll buy some time right. It's complete to Brown, right side. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 23 yards on the play. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Dancing to his left. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, but a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
315.
2nd and 10. It's Wilson again. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Frank Clark, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
But enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
They go play action with Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. And until that point, we haven't seen Julio Jones. That's hard to believe here this late in the game.
And no one more frustrated than Julio Jones because receivers feed off of catches. That's their fuel, and that's also their affirmation. And he hasn't been getting much of that in this game, and their team is losing, and he wants to have a better effect on the game.
Just the first connection, Ryan to Jones there.
Let's go get it right here. Come on. Tempo, baby. Let's go. Let's go to work. Come on.
Play action. It's Wilson sliding out of the pocket. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And now it's third down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Julio Jones, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead. Russell Wilson now will bring his guys up to go for two. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off with great anticipation. And nothing there on the return. They've got the football, but they'll have to start this drive at their own 4-yard line. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. On the return, the All-Pro 2 years ago, Tyler Lockett. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Well, let's gaze our attention as the offense takes the field on Rashad Penny. And he's already gone over 200 yards on the crowd as we get a look at some of his... Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to have a third down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
It's complete left side to Aguilar. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. It goes for a gain of 10, and it's a first down.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Now they'll run it again with Penny. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
All right, here we go. Blue, landed.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him to find him. Find him.
Drake will start the drive on the ground. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Here's Wilson, flushed out right. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally able to hold him in check. He'd been carving them up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he is down deep into Seattle territory. And that one results in 35 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Seahawks have recovered.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
We're off to the fourth quarter here in Week 15. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth and final quarter.
Set! 3-19! 3-19!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to about the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Hurry up, here we go! Blue 90!
He'll look to throw. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Jaron Reed in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Returnable for Lockett. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Well, let's gaze our attention as the offense takes the field on Rashad Penny. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They keep it with Penny on 1st down. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now Rashad Penny. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Wide open receiver complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Now a toss play. It's Carson. He's to the 10, and he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there, hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Jakeem Grant now to return. Now a hit and a loose football. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the four fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the four fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Rashad Penny taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And that rushing touchdown is fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
He's going to be stopped here with a penalty marker on the field. I'm not sure what this is about.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
To throw is Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Now Wilson on first down. And Green with a catch left side. And he's going to be ripped down by the face mask at the end of this, and that's going to add 15 more onto the end of this thing.
Face mask. Defense.
Tack on 15 more for the face mask, and that becomes a huge play.
Big pass gets caught on you. You're doing everything possible to get him on the ground, and sometimes you end up grabbing the face mask.
Now a play fake here on first down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And just shutting him off there. And all the way up to the 41-yard line. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Here's Carson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And he had a nice play there from his free safety position to hold him to nothing.
And, Brandon, remember when the free safety was always back away from the line of scrimmage?
That's changed.
Has that changed in a big way. The way we see it now, they're almost mirrors between the free safety and the strong safety.
And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 38 yards on the scamper there. And with that carry, he has done it. He breaks the single-game rushing record.
How about doing it in the spotlight of our game? How wonderful is that to see all those yards accumulated, culminating in a brand new NFL record.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The tackle is made by Micah Hyde.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Seahawks, they get back to 5.